Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to talk about shelter, in particular, awnings. You might have noticed that I've changed a few configuration setup on my vehicle of late. So I've gone away with the 270-degree awning. As great they are, but it just didn't suit me 100% perfect. One, for its weight. Two, the size, the bulk of it. Three, because of the iCamper, I couldn't mount it up close the way it opened, which allowed there's a gap in between, and when it rained, water would come in through between the iCamper and the 270-degree awning. Now that's with any 270-degree awning, you're going to have that problem. And next reason is you couldn't set it up unless you made sure you always peg it down. Now the way I travel, the way I'm touring when I'm driving on the highway, I'd like to stop at rest stops and just brew up a coffee, and because I got the travel buddy, so I cook up some meat pies, sausage rolls, whatever, even a roast, and you can pull up and have a roast for lunch, a meal, anything. Virtually what you can cook in an oven at home, you can cook in these travel buddies. But it's been so hot. I've been using it a lot in winter, but it's been so hot. So instead of saving money, pulling over to the rest stop, I'd go somewhere, you know, like your McDonald's and so on, any of the fast food stores, and purchase lunch that way. So it defeated the purpose really, because I couldn't set it up. See, the problem is over here with our rest stops, it's all bitumen, okay? It's all bitumen. You can't really peg it into the ground. You can't hold it down. And the amount of effort, and that's another thing too, because my back's been playing up a bit. I've been struggling to hold that weight because I need a system that's easier to set up. So I know quite a few of you have been messaging me why I've gone away with the 270-degree awning. Now I could have gone with the freestanding ones, which would have been a great option. But again, the problem is because of their bulk, it'll have to be mounted so far away from my iCamper to allow it to open up. And not just that, it's so heavy. It's heavy. And I've got to be really careful with the weight that I carry on this. In fact, I'm going to do a video one day soon, and I'm going to take this Pajero to the weighbridge. So I'm virtually going to take everything out the vehicle, bar the fridge, it'll be empty, my battery, and the draw system, and probably about half a tank or maybe a full tank of fuel, a pet diesel in my case. So I get a bit of a, that's including the iCamper on the top and the awnings, and that'll give me a ballpark per figure of how much, what sort of weight I'm at and how many kilos I've got left before I add all the other products. Because all the other items, then I can start adding them. I've got a 20 kilo very accurate scales here that we used to use when we're on the farm. And they're very accurate, so I can weigh, most of the other gear is all well under 20 kilos. So I can weigh them individually, do up a spreadsheet, and I could tick it off as I install in the vehicle, put these items in the vehicle, and then I know where I can, you know, where my weight limit is. And I'm going to do a video on that, so it's going to be a bit of a series. So that'll be happening in the new year, just after the New Year's, possibly after the school holidays. Now this idea of doing away with the 270-degree, I've been thinking about it for quite some time, and I've always wanted something that I can use when I pull up these rest stops in the middle of summer. So if it's raining, it won't be a problem as long as it's not too heavy. If it's just showers, you can get out, put the awning up without getting too wet. If it's sunny, which most of the time it's just too hot, just too hot to sit out in the sun and prepare, you know, your food and so on and sit there at the back of the vehicle. So hence I've been going into air conditioned comfort, Hungry Jack's, KFC, places like that. So I've been looking around for a while, and you saw the Drifter Stockton 4-drive tarp off the side. I showed you a couple of videos on that, including the walls that I posted online on my YouTube channel yesterday. But as you're aware, that doesn't wrap all the way around. So I started looking into rear awnings. Majority of them, you know what the majority of them are like. Majority of them are similar to your 4-drive awning, where you got to set them out, and ideally you need to peg them out. Okay, I thought that it might work really well and I could peg it out, and maybe I've seen at the markets where they've got these little containers where you can fill up with water or sand or something as weights and then put them at the base. And I thought about that idea, but then there's more stuff to carry and I'm limited on space. I'm really limited on space there, and I think weight as well. But we'll find that out in a future video coming up in the next couple of months, month or so. And I'll take you along to that when we go to the weighbridge and see what sort of weight this old girl is. So, which will be interesting, very interesting. So, I thought it's not really ideal. You know, if you pull up and there's no wind, you could set those things and just leave it, but they're like a big sailcloth. And even those conventional ones that go off the back, they're 1.4 meters long. Okay, they come out 2 meters. So there's quite a big area. It's like a shade cloth that just lifts up and then poof, straight over and just damages. So they really need to be pegged down to stop them from lifting up. Okay, so it's not so much a problem than coming down, although they're not freestanding, lifting up. So I did some research and I saw you could buy these what they call 180-degree awnings. So they're short. Okay, you can see I've got one right here. Alright, so that's a 180-degree awning. It's 1.5 meters long, that specifically that one there. But it can also take the job of a side awning. You can actually use that on a side awning as well. And where they come in really handy, a lot of you guys out there with your utes and so on that are not dual cab, and your cab's only a short section, and if you put one of these big tarps on the side that are 2.5 meters long, or even 2 meter ones, they kind of look a bit dicky and they hang out a fair distance. So these are worthy to look at, because that opens out to about, remember that's 1.5 meters long. But being a 180 degree, what they mean by 180 degree, it's got swing out arms on both corners. Okay, over there and way over there, there's arms there. It's got 2 arms and they just swing right out. So it ends up being 4.2 meters long. Now there's 2 sizes of these. So this particular one I've got here is a Darche. There is one other company that 230 does one that is very similar. I think it's obviously it's made from the same factory, but they've got a slightly different material. They've got like a dark material underneath. I read online, which I think is the only difference between the 230 version of this 180R. So this one's the Darche version. It's called the Eclipse 180R. R standing for rear. But as I mentioned, there's plenty of people around that are mounting them on the side of the vehicle because they only got that short sort of cabin for your utes and so on. If you've got a dual cab, you'll be okay. But they make a bigger one of this as well, which is quite big. So the thing is with that though, it only comes out, I think, what is it, 1.4 meters. Your conventional square ones, they come out 2 meters. And I was a bit worried about that. I thought that might have been too short. But I grabbed my tape measure one day and I measured and I marked out the area, and I was worried that when I opened this back door here, so I opened this back door, that it wasn't clearing this. But according to the tape measure, it was perfect. There was plenty of clearance there, and I thought, so I considered it. So when the next time I went down to Brisbane, I stopped by at a store called Snowy's. Snowy's a discount store, camping store. Well and truly worthwhile checking out. They've got a store in Adelaide and they've got a store in Brendale in Brisbane, which is not too far from where the Brendale store, the drifter store at Brendale used to be, but now they've relocated to Slacks Creek, which is a wonderful store. If you get a chance to go down, guys, go get to see the Drifter Stockton line and the Drifter line. A gear is all on display. Most of it is on display at this huge warehouse-like store than 21 Moss Street, Slacks Creek, and it's air conditioned. It's a beauty, it's air conditioned. Okay, so I went down and had a look, and I wasn't sure about the brackets. That's the thing, but I'll grab the camera and I'll show you. Now, mounting onto the iCamper wasn't an issue. The iCamper is made such a way where it's got, okay, so you're looking at the rear of the iCamper now. It's got a bar that goes all the way back, and it goes pretty much from the front edge all the way back, only comes to short by about 10 centimeters at the rear. And it's got a rail in there where you can slide in your attachment points and then bolt into. So that's how that's attached to my roof bars. So there's no roof rack on there. It's just got 3 roof bars, and it's attached to those roof bars via clamp onto those. That's attached to that rail. So if that is holding like 70 plus kilos there, and you're driving along the wind, it'll certainly hold a little awning like that. And the brackets that come with these are incredible. They're really tough. They're really tough. And you get 3 in a packet. You only need 2, but you get 3 in a packet. I think the third one is just a standard one that they fit in all the 180-degree awnings, and that one's designed for your longer one of the 180-degree awning. So I'm going to set this up and show you. Now, there's one really good feature with this, and I haven't mentioned this yet. Let me take my hat off. Now, I've left this feature to last. There's this really, really good feature on this. It's freestanding. That's right. That there is freestanding. Now, they say that they advise that when you do set it up, to always drop the legs down. Okay, and I think they just say that just for you, the warranty and so on, in case you're doing something silly or wind. But if there's any wind about, like just about any of the freestanding awning, I think they're only bar one, where they suggest to always use the drop down legs. Okay, and that's what that's got. That's got included the drop down legs. So it's got the aluminium drop down legs that come down. Okay, so how perfect is that? I can drive along, doing a long drive. I've got some sausage rolls, pies, whatever you're cooking, roast, whatever you want for lunch, sitting in your travel buddy. Cold drinks in your fridge. I've got my full espresso machine thing that makes your cappuccino, lattes, coffees, you name it, chocolate drinks. Pull up somewhere, not worry about the ground, not worry I have to peg out anything, and set that thing up in no time. and just sits there freestanding. Same, pack it away. How awesome is that? So it's turned out perfect for me. So I've had this for a few weeks now, maybe closer to 4 weeks now, I'm not too sure. Time's going quick, I think it's at 3-4 weeks. So I haven't tested it out camping yet, but I've tested it in the backyard. I've tested it going out to the beach for picnics and Christmas lunch and all that. And I've tested it down the Gold Coast when they had all that rain. There was a couple of 3 weeks ago, I think it is now. They had a lot of rain there. It was like literally rained 100, 120, 150 mils thereabouts overnight, and it continued for the next 3-4 days, another 100 mils. So I had that set up out the front of where I was staying to test it, and it had no problems at all. I never had any water come in, and that's a good thing too. The water doesn't even go in between. It's such designed that the water doesn't go in between. You could have the door open when it's raining and the water doesn't go in between a gap, because you can mount it right up fairly close to the iCamper. In fact, I could even mount it even a bit closer to the iCamper if I wanted to. Now, before we do set this awning up, it comes with these straps. You guys would be familiar with your 270-degree awnings, so it's virtually just similar straps. So that's kind of works in the same principle, because it's got those big arms that fold out, which makes that from 1.5 meters there out to about almost 4 meters wide. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that's 4 meters wide. So they're good quality straps, as you can see, strong webbing, very well stitched together. So this will last a long time. So what you do, similar to any other awning, and we'll go do that shortly, is we'll go and clip this on to the top there somewhere, attachment point along there, so we can pull those arms out. So we'll just start do that now, and I'll just leave that hanging there. I've got another one here, just dropped the other one, so there's two. It comes with 2 of these straps, okay, and this one here I just clip it on to the bracket up here that the awning is set on, and it's a good idea to clip these onto the door here. Next thing, let's set up this awning. Good quality heavy duty zips. I don't know, they don't look like they're YKK, they got SBS. I don't know what sort of quality they are. Now, I don't know if you can see from there, but you can see the brackets here. It's quite strong. Solid steel, look how thick that is. So it's very strong. So you've got 2 Velcro straps here. Okay, so that folds down. Pull the arms out that way, and you've got another set of arms out this way. Grab your strap. It's got a hook up the top here. You pull out the hook and just pull that around till it's taut. And we do the same on the other side. So I'm not sure if you see the whole lot in the... So it gives quite a good coverage, more than enough coverage for your back of your vehicle. And again, we just pull that tight. And guys, that's it. That's all you need to do, that's it. That's all set up now. Now, I just open the door. Look at that. Got to tack these out the way. That's it. Now I just took my time there, and I was talking you guys through it. So you can see how quick that was to set up. And if required, I'll shut this door. Up here, attached to Velcro, is the drop down legs. Like any conventional, okay? Now it's a good example. There's quite a fair bit of wind blowing right now, and you can see it's got no issues that's holding up. Now, there is one thing, and I've read this, some of the popular fixed freestanding 270-degree awnings have some problems with is pooling. I won't name any brands, but one in particular that's fairly popular. I've seen a few review videos online, and some owners have told me that they've had to put it away during the storm. So remember, I had this out like that, as you can see, with the legs out and pegged down at the base there. And I had this out those days when it was all that heavy rain and storms were coming through, and there was no pulling at all. So all you had to do is each section here got these tie off points. So you just tie off a rope down there. So you got 3, another one here, and that's all I did. That there, and then drop these poles down, and that was enough to keep that from flying away. That was, the water was just running away, no problems. So we'll grab the camera now, and I'll take you out there and show you a close look at the fittings, what you get with it, and those brackets. I hope that's focused. We'll check it soon. You can see that. That's one of those hefty brackets that's included. So there's, in the one I got, there was 3 of those. One side of the swing out arms. So you can see how thick that metal is, and even that bolt. Rectangular aluminium. Okay, and I want to show you the mounting point of the, have a look at the drop down leg here. So it's like a ball and socket presses in, and that's actually an advantage, so you can set that pole out on an angle, on any angle that you like. And I'll show you, I'll mention to you what one of the benefits. Now, see there's a zip there as well. So it includes a zip. Okay, now that zip is for an additional option wall set, and I've got the wall set. Now the material that you're looking at here is a poly cotton canvas, so it's, I believe it's 270 weight rating, so the whole zip goes all the way around. And another thing I want to show you is with the wall kit, it's fully enclosed. See up the top here, see that sail track along there? So it's got an additional 2 pieces of the wall kit that you slide in here, and it encloses all this area here. So as you can see, it's not a bad product. I reckon it's pretty cool. Now I'll do a separate video on the wall kit, okay, so might even film it shortly, but that'll be a separate video, otherwise this one will be too long. And I'll show you the wall kit and how it fits and how big. That's the thing, that wall kit, if you're thinking that's bigger than what you think, it's more than enough room for the shelter, because the way my vehicle is set up, as you can see, okay, as you can see, I've got my fridge here, so the drinks and everything is kept in there. I've got a table that pulls out here basically, and that table completely comes out and it's got legs on the bottom that drops down. This is basically a pantry at this top end, and this is basically mostly in the kitchen. I've actually do have a specific kitchen drawer that pulls out all the way, and it's got drop down legs, and it's got a table that folds out, and it gives you a 2 meter long table, and it's around the width of that drawer there. But I don't use it because it's a little bit too heavy for my back. If I was camping with someone else and with 2 of us, we could pull that out. That's my preference, to take that. But otherwise I use this, because you see I've got a cutlery drawer here. I've got a separate section here for the pots and pans and so on. And over here I use, put the gloves and whatever the bigger pieces and so on. Pots and more pots and pans if need be, all goes in there. So it's virtually a whole kitchen. It's just set up here, and I usually have a coffee kit here. So there's more than enough shelter under this here to cover this area. But if you're going somewhere and you're camping somewhere and your base camp at that spot for say any more than 2 days, and you don't need access to the vehicle, then the wall kit is the way to go, I reckon. Now when you get the walls, it's advisable to also put your poles over here. Now this does come with an extra set of poles, but those poles are similar to these with the spigot on the end, whereas this one here, well, I'll show you. For example, put that on the ground. Let's see, I can just pull this out. Okay, so it's got like a ball and socket on the end here. Right, see that, the ball there? Okay, so it just press fits in, which allows you to set this at all different angles. And when you're using the wall, then you can set this up like so, because the wall angle out, it angles out, and then you don't have a pole in the way. And the wall set's got a door right here as well. That's why I love that idea. Now you've seen one of my videos where I've talked about these Drifter Stockton 4-stage adjustable poles, how great they are because of how compact they are. The extra poles that comes with this packs down to about that length, which just gets in the way. It's terrible. I just don't want to go back to those big long pegs, poles like Oz tents have and so on. So that's where this comes in handy, because it's got the 4 sections, fully adjustable from down to, what's it, about 70 centimeters right up to 2.4, and then all you do is that goes in there like so, and just tighten that up, and that's it. So it's advisable on really adverse weather conditions. It's really bad weather conditions, like if there's storm blown or something, or you got the wall set up, to always use those extra poles at the end. So I've still got those poles that included with that Darche, but I put them away in the garage, and I'll probably just use them around the house here, and I've replaced them with these poles here. As far as I know, there's only two importers of these here in Australia that I could see. It's the 230, I think they're called, and Darche. Darche do have stock of these. If you look around, I believe Snowy's has got them. I don't know if 230 has them. They had been a bit hard to get, particularly in the larger version. Most people seem to want the larger version, and the larger version of the 180, I believe comes out nearly 2 metres. So it comes out an extra 600. So if you want a much larger, and to be honest, it depends. Well, to be honest, I think this is big enough, but if you've got a family and you want the family underneath and you're not planning on purchasing the wall kit, then my advice is to get the larger one of these, okay. Or even better, just save your money and get the Drifter Stockton 4-drive awning. It just comes off the side, but that's if you got the space. But for you guys who only got the short cabs, this is perfect. And if you got a family and you want that extra room, then you put the wall kit on it, and because the wall kit angles right out, it's actually quite a large area. I was quite surprised. I've only put it up once, so this will only be the second time that I'm about to set it up. And it was incredible. Absolutely amazing. Thanks for watching, particularly those who've watched all the way through. I really appreciate it. And please subscribe. Look after yourself. Be kind to everyone. Until next time, cheers.